concerned about what other people think. Does that bother you? Does that like sit in your head? Does it stir emotions within your mindset that currently fucks you up? Like you're just always wondering what they think. Like, what are they gonna say? What do you think they'll do? You know, and to us in sales, and you don't even need to be in sales, you can be in fucking operations. Just in general, we are always cautious about what other people think. But let me flip it on you, and I'm gonna explain why I'm going down this path in this video, so bear with me. But I want you to think right now, do you have an elder in your family? Maybe like a grandma, grandpa, fuck, it could be your mom, dad, your auntie, your uncle, someone who's a little bit older that just doesn't give a fuck about what other people think, right? And I think it has to do with age. It has to do with, you know, their experience. And, you know, looking back across life, you know, as a kid, and if you have kids, you're probably telling your kids the same thing, because I know I am, that I'm trying to teach them lessons of not to worry about what other people think, you know, not to worry about if other people are happy, just worry about themselves, or worry about himself, you know. And we've been given that lesson all throughout our life, where we just have to be happy with ourselves, right? That's the cliche, but it's such a fucking challenge. It is. It's difficult because we're constantly wanting to be accepted. We're constantly wanting to be liked. We want the thumbs up. We want the fucking double tap. That's just the way we're built. And I think it has to do because of the way we were rooted when we were kids. You know, we wanted acceptance. We wanted the A. We wanted the, you know what I mean, the participation award. We wanted that recognition, and it was so important to us. And even through school, we wanted to graduate. We wanted to go to a college, and so on and so forth. So you get the gist, you get the point. So in essence, we're not at fault. We were wired this way. Now let me flip it on you, because I'm explaining as to why this may be affecting you right now, and what we can take from a page of a book from our elders. What I believe we can do is we can look at them and ask why, versus kind of just shrug it off and let that advice go in one ear and out the other. Really look at our elders and learn from them. And what I have noticed is some, again, just don't give a flying fuck. Like, they'll be out in public just wearing a muumuu, right? Or just wearing some clothes that they just don't care. And I'm not saying they're bad people. I'm not saying that they're lazy. They are just content. And what I'm referring to is they don't necessarily need to be wearing a muumuu or PJs. They could literally be wearing, you know, some 1970s outfit or 80s outfit, and they're just stuck within that zone. They're stuck within that time, and they're content, and they're happy with it, and they're cool, right? And I admire that. I'm not making fun of them at all. I genuinely admire that, because they are another level of confidence. And if I can learn that other level of confidence, well, damn, I think that's something that we can all aspire to be at. And so the question is why? Well, Daniel, why the fuck do you want to be happy at wearing 1970s clothes in public? And that's not the point. What the point is, though, is being confident in your own skin. And what I can learn from that is, you know, in current society, what I believe we are blinded by, and including myself, are things that are material, right? Like name brand clothes. Like, I'm at the fucking gym with a Nike sweater on, right? There's got to be a reason behind that, and to each his own. And there's things that we would do or willing to do for a fancy job title, right? Like, we're willing to completely turn our backs on, let's say, an industry or an employer or our friends or our manager for a job title. And we believe that it's greener on the other side because of that job title. I remember when I was a telemarketer, you know, I wanted nothing more than to be a senior telemarketer, right? I wanted to be a senior. I wanted that SR in front, or yeah, in my title so bad. And it wasn't necessarily because I had a dollar bump in pay, right? It wasn't because I got a better seat or I got recognition. It was because I wanted to be a senior, and I wanted it so bad I did whatever I could to get it. And then after I got it, then I wanted to get the next title, which was loan officer. And then when I got into a loan officer title, I wanted so bad to put an SR or senior by that name. You know what I mean? Like, it just looked cool. And because I got the title, it gave me this confidence. Much like wearing name brand clothes gives people confidence. It gives them a specific mindset. Just like a specific car type, like a Ferrari versus a Toyota, there's a specific boost of confidence and feeling and sensation that that particular brand or that material item gives us as human beings. It gives us that sense of accomplishment. It gives us that sense of entitlement, that exclusivity of being one of the few that actually reaches that level. And so it's ongoing, right? And even though we, let's say, graduate, let's say we get that senior by our name, what we have to learn from, and what we have to recognize, is the mindset is what got us there. It's not the title, right? It's not necessarily the title. The title was something that we're aiming for. The title was the carrot that was being dangled in front of us. But it was our mindset, our work ethic, our enthusiasm, our persistence, our fucking grind, our hustle that got us that SR or got us that senior in our title. And it is our mindset that no one can take away from us, right? It's our mindset that puts us in the way to experience the greener side. It is our mindset and work ethic that enables us to surpass a title. Like, for example, whether you call me janitor or you call me a fucking CEO, just spell my name right on the check, because I am confident. I'm at a point in my life where I am confident that I am going to earn my way. I earned my way. And so then I can continue to earn my way. I don't need a fucking job title. I don't need that SR by my name, because I've already learned how to develop a mindset that's going to get me mine, regardless if I got a fucking senior by my name. And so it's funny, right? It's interesting because, you know, when you look on social media, or you look at people, kind of, you know, just an example for sales, people jump ship, they jump jobs. And it may not necessarily be for a title. It could be for the material things like let's say bonus, right? Like, oh man, this company's giving me a 3-month bonus. Shit, I got this. And they go into another atmosphere where it's fucking no better, if not worse, than the atmosphere you just left. And now you're in this rigorous circle. And it is because we are aiming for the wrong things, right? In that example, instead of aiming for, you know, the 3-month draw or the 3-month guarantee, what we need to do is aim for the right foundation to build from, right? And if your focus is on a draw or a guarantee or a job title, or, you know, rather than do you have the pieces in place for me to create an engine here right now? And the next video that I'm going to do on my way to work, which I'll post it up both same day, it's going to be about one specific skill set that I've studied along my journey, along my path, that I've studied, and I noticed this one common trait that all successful entities, not even fucking people, all successful entities share and have in common. And I just recently read a book from Ryan Stewman, by the way. Ryan Stewman's another influencer, sales influencer. You got to study your craft. You got to study those who are within your niche, and you have to, most importantly, study those who have done already what you plan to do. And Ryan Stewman, who's also known as the hardcore closer, he's doing what I plan to do, and he's paved the way. Anyway, he came out with this book called Scale It and Sell It. And I think that's the name of the book. Yeah. Anyway, it's called, it's referring to how he went from a salesman to a CEO, right? And there's a few people that I'm reading about right now that went from salesman to CEO. And again, that's just referencing a title. But this trait that I'm talking about was sprinkled all throughout that book, and it's sprinkled all throughout many and many books. And the more and more I dive into understanding the mindset of successful entrepreneurs, I am seeing this trait happen again and again. So I'm going to share that with you on my next video. But if you want to learn more about what that is, you know, definitely check out the next video, the next post. I'm sure it'll probably automatically play after this video. And just be prepared, you know, understand that CEO is a mindset, right? It's not a job title. But people want that title. So there's a lot of people who are on social media, a lot of people who are in the industry right now who are aiming for things that are not necessarily important. What they need to aim for is a foundation and a tool that they can mix their mindset, their work ethic, their enthusiasm, their persistence, their desires with, that will eventually create and manifest what it is that they truly want. But see, here's the key thing though, is that people don't know what they want. People want a 10-figure a month salary, or 10-figure a month income, but for what? Why? Right? And if you really dissect it and reverse engineer it, you'll find that people want $120,000 a year because they prefer to eat out every weekend, or they prefer to go to the bars every weekend. And it's just going to depend on where you are in your life. And what I take from the book of elders, right, and people that I talk to who are older than me, and how they look at society now, and it's a trip, because we're all going to get there. We're all going to be, hopefully, that you got good health and all good things happen to you, that you'll live to be very old age. And when you get to that age, what will your mindset be like? And so I always wonder that, and I'll look at elders now, and they are just happy with the small things in life. They're content with the minimal. They're very minimal, right? And maybe it's because of their generation, but what I admire is their patience. What I admire is them going through society in a completely different world without being upset that they didn't have the same resources that we have today. What I admire from them is that they proudly, explain what they earned, and they proudly walk around content, because I believe they made it without all the tools. I believe they have this confidence of entitlement and this confidence of accomplishment because they genuinely did accomplish it. They lived their life and established their life before everyone had access to the World Wide Web, before everyone had, all these different resources that we have now, these examples that we have now so easily available. And so they did it, they earned it. And so salute to anyone who is elder, anyone that you have within your circle who's older, a couple generations older, or if not a generation older. Really respect them. I'm Filipino, so it's in my blood to respect elders, but do it on a different level, right? Like, not only hold the door open for the elderly, but really have a chance to sit down and talk to one of them. Go volunteer at a retirement home. If you have no one in your circle who's older, or someone who's on your work floor is older, go to lunch with them and pick their brain. Have them tell you about what life was like 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago. And ask them, what do they appreciate? What do they regret? What would they have done different, if they could do it all over again and be at your age? And that will be just some honest fucking truth. That will open your eyes to what we really need to take in consideration, because the more technology advances, the more things that demand our attention, and the more things that demand our attention, we're caught up in just this data overload, right? We just have advertisements, ads, pitches, work, life, kids, all this stuff just grabs for our attention, and sometimes we just become part of the process rather than design and develop a process of our own. And so we're just on a ride versus driving. Make sense? And so in order to become a driver rather than just kind of riding the wave, you want to be the one making the waves. Really detach from all that and pick the mind of an elder. So that's my message to you. Instead of aiming for a job title, instead of aiming for an employer or a draw or a bonus or a greener side, aim for a mindset. When you develop that mindset's going to take you anywhere and everywhere you want to go. You want job security? Have a strong fucking mindset, because that strong mindset is going to train you and give you the discipline that you need to develop the skills that you need to be a rare commodity. And that's what companies want. That's what it takes to be confident. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.